Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Solana, see kind of what's going on there, and obviously overlook Bitcoin for the moment. I'll do a nice in-depth detailed review of Bitcoin here soon. Obviously, we want a little bit more data to understand what's going on. Yes, we have a recent pump, but it doesn't mean we're free and clear, right? We got to understand there's a lot of stuff going into this this trade here today, so to speak, and you want to just be cautious and careful and make sure you understand. I guess more, right? A little premature to make a decision, so just bear that in mind. But keep in mind that that sentiment, that overall positivity right now, essentially, is allowing Solana to kind of recover. But I want to kind of address a couple of key points here. And just before we jump in there, also, not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade. I love this. This is my day job. I do this every day for work. Been trading for over 15 years. So I hope you can learn a thing or two here today. If you want to learn more, I've got a trading academy rolling out month end, but a trading community I've had for quite some time. And we've got over 400 members, and it's an amazing experience. You can learn a ton. And I also send out signals for every single trade that I take in case you want to know how to structure trades effectively. So that being said, looking here at Solana, let's go ahead and start with a 1 week chart, right? We're obviously in bearish territory here, or at least bouncing out the 50 on the RSI, which is technically a good sign on the weekly chart. We like to see that. We're up above the 50 as well, so not terrible shape. In fact, the one thing I want to bring to your attention too, I think I looked at this earlier, we're at an 8 on TD sequential. So hypothetically, we've got one more week's worth of bearish continuation for Solana before we see a break to the upside. Not to say it won't continue upwards from here. It just tells us that we're almost at an exhaustive state, and the likelihood of it going much lower is fairly low. All right, so also bear in mind too, we have a nice key level support here right at about 135. So 130 to 135 is about basically a support range, and we're above that right now. So definitely good. Just bear in mind that if we lose that bottom, there's not a lot between there that we have to fall on us for. I mean, if you look at the volume for just say Solana in the most recent past, you can see all the volumes here, and there's a very big gap between 75 and 135. That's a big free fall if we lose that bottom. So just be mindful of that. So I would have a tight stop loss right around 130 or 129, 125, somewhere in that range, just to be on the safe side if you're to take a trade to the long side. I do feel like we should see a momentum shift from Solana soon. Obviously today has proven that, but again, a little premature, right? We don't want to jump the gun, so to speak, and think that we're out of the clear. But that being said, we are at an 8 previously, and now we're at a 2. So we did get a reset there, a nice bounce off of that support level right around 135. So ultimately, looking pretty good for the TD sequential on Solana. In other words, that turnaround should likely continue based on the fact that it had a bit of an overextended state recently. Just key takeaway here as well, we're up over the 200-day simple moving average, so a lot of positivity there in that sense for a potential turnaround for Solana. And I say potential just based on the simple fact that if Bitcoin sells off today, which could still happen based on the fact that the day hasn't closed yet, right? It's all speculation for the moment. We should expect that that bottom to hold, right? So it's nice to have that 200-day SMA holding right at the major support level. That's a good sign. Just note that this 50 working its way down could essentially drive the price action down later. We are technically under 50 on the RSI, which isn't terrible, just means that we're not still in bullish territory yet. I think that's pretty obvious. But until we get upwards of 180 or higher, I would still speculate that we're going to be more bearish just in the overall sense of things, okay? So again, dollar cost average, if this is something you're very passionate about, you like Solana, you like the project, definitely good. There's good fundamentals, keep that in mind. And it's obviously done very well in the past too, right here up until November 6th, which essentially is roughly the same time that Bitcoin sold off, right? So I think the likelihood of Solana coming back to 255 or higher, 260 essentially, is very high. How soon will that happen? It's hard to say. I don't think we should expect it to shoot straight up, but I do think that we can expect it to kind of reverse what it's done recently here with higher highs and higher lows, as long as Bitcoin is doing the same. Whether we like to admit it, Solana, being as overextended as it was just before that major sell-off, it's now synonymous with Bitcoin in a lot of ways, okay? So you can't just kind of fool yourself and think that Solana is going to take off if Bitcoin is just going sideways. Solana is increasing today because Bitcoin increased as well, right? So try to understand that. Hasn't broken free of it just yet, even though it's proven to do so in the past, okay? So 4-hour, quick look at the SMA. We're under the 200, but above the 50 now. This is positive. I love when the price is up above the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour chart. That's extremely important. Just bear in mind, this candlestick really just opened 45 minutes ago, so it's really premature. We don't want to expect and to say that that's a new support level. It should be soon in the next few hours, but for right now, it's I guess a tentative positive sentiment, right? And everything's tentative for today. I just hope you understand that's going to be the theme for today. Tentative excitement based on the fact that this just feels like it could be a rug pull, could be a bull trap from Bitcoin, and we just got to wait it out and see. Wait for the one-day candlestick to close. Try not to get too premature or too overexcited. It wouldn't hurt to even consider maybe taking some profits on some of your coins today. That's not a bad consideration. You don't have to close them all. Just take a little bit off the top, right? If you're in the green, we got to celebrate that and enjoy that because it hasn't happened in a while, right? But we also got to be realistic in the fact that we are not fully done yet. Bitcoin hasn't pulled its veil under, over our eyes just yet for the final time. I still feel like we might see some surprises this week or next. So just know that. Anyways, all good bullish indications here on the 4-hour chart. The midterm looks great for Solana. There's no other way around it. It definitely looks very, very good. So in that sense, again, for a shorter term hold, if you're planning to maybe take some profits soon, it wouldn't be a terrible idea. I would just wait and consider the news today and see what happens first. TD sequential tells us we're at 2. We got a nice little reset there. So all in all, I mean, there's really no indication outside of Bitcoin misbehaving that Solana shouldn't continue to progress upwards, right? That's basically what I'm seeing here so far. Let's see what the micro kind of tells us, or the 1 hour essentially. We are well above all the necessary indicators, so Ichimoku Cloud looks awesome. TD sequential probably a little bit on the overextended side, so we might see a pullback. The price may try to continue to progress up to 157. If it does, that is a key level Fibonacci retracement line, and that might hold the price action down lower. So when you see like an 8 or a 9 on TD sequential leading into a major retracement level, or sorry, a major resistance level, it could imply there's a reversal that may occur soon, right? Now, the reversal shouldn't come much lower than this line here, right? So if it comes down, it should bounce and continue, but just note that there might be a slight pullback there. But again, if Solana's your coin, long-term big picture, wouldn't be terrible to dollar cost average and add some of your position. Just do yourself a favor, save some USDT or whatever Tether account you're using, and put money aside just in case we see another dip. That's all I ask. You're not going to be mad later if you have extra funds to use. Trust me. It's better to have money set aside and not lose your money than it is to put everything all into one scenario, essentially, and just think that we're in free and clear now. It's bullish territory, bullish market. And for that bottom to drop out, right? We don't truly know that yet. Not a lot of confidence, or I don't know. I'm still not super confident on Bitcoin's behavior today. I just think it's a little premature. It's done this before, what gives us a lot of false positives, and I'm not sold. Okay. Either way, I am sold on the fact that Solana looks very, very good. And there's potential for it to break free from Bitcoin eventually, but for right now, it is fairly still synonymous with Bitcoin. It's just kind of pumping right now because it's been held down for a very long time, right? So you got to understand that a lot of coins right now are taking off tentatively because of the fact that Bitcoin is showing a little bit of stability, and that was because that article that came out yesterday. If you saw my Bitcoin video, you know what I'm talking about. It's a mouthful. And I'll pull that up again here today so you have perspective on that with my new Bitcoin video. But generally speaking, there was a fundamental catalyst that kind of told us that Bitcoin was extremely overextended and now is a good time to buy. Right? And that's kind of causing a surge in the market. So just be aware of that. Okay, anyways, hopefully you learned a thing or two here today. If you want to learn a lot more and be part of an amazing community, consider joining my community. Link in the description below. Also, further note as well, I have a trading academy rolling out month end, and we're going to be transitioning from Patreon to a website platform with a membership login and a lot of additional resources with live market data likely on our website. So it's going to be really cool. Either way, thanks again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.